Good evening, and I feel great to be here. And let me start. I don't know how many of you over here are full leaders for yourself. I think it's very important to embark on this journey of being a leader for yourself. I feel we are in this space where change is sort of permanent. It happens, it comes pretty much unannounced. It never says, oh, I'm going to come tomorrow, and that's how it's going to happen. It just comes unannounced. And the only way that you can be ready for change is to imbibe on that journey and learn to ride the wave of change. So, how do you ride a wave of change? Our schools have not taught us, nobody's taught us. I'm sure there are certain specific things where you go and read. I've been in the space of change for almost 3 decades, whether it is in organizations or now in my new avatar. And I feel there are three important ingredients to ride a wave of change. I think the first one is becoming a leader for yourself. We're not taught this. Like he was saying, did you eat? Did you drink water? Did you do this? We're so used to someone telling us. It's someone else's script. The second thing, and in that process of becoming a leader, it's also about being powerful, feeling your power and reclaiming that power and reigning in that power of you. Often we feel like the power is somewhere else. That guy is so powerful. This person is so powerful. I think we're all powerful. It's just about, just tapping into that. The second thing, which is a very important ingredient I found, is agility. But agility is another thing where it requires you to try, take the plunge, keep trying, practice it, get better, and take small steps. The whole thing is baseline your expectations and assumptions and take very small steps. We are often in this rush of really running as fast as possible. Expectations first day is I need to, be as good as the best in the industry sort of thing. So I think it's very important to bring in that agility. And the third and the most important thing, mindset, right? We're always in this thing of perception, and it's a struggle to move from perception to perspective. And that's a big change. When you have a perspective, that's a complete different form. When you have these three things working together, is when you really reclaim the power of you. So, like I started with the terms and conditions, so, do we really own the script that is given to us? So, terms and conditions is where you give the power to someone else. So is it with life. We give a lot of our power over to someone else when we don't read the fine prints of it. The scariest contracts that one could get into is where, can you guys still hear me? Okay. The scariest contracts that one could get into is where we sign without reading, right? And that's the most scariest part, where, especially the one where we are making life decisions. And there's enough research to say that we make close to 35,000 decisions in a day. Did you know? 35,000 decisions in a day. More than that, but at least 35,000. Out of it, 80% is automatic based on preconditions. These terms and conditions that you've signed and accepted without even reading through it, the fine prints. What are these decisions? Micro choices, like, my posture is 100%. You don't even have control over those, they're automatic. The second one, routine decisions, 87%. Which route you'll take, brushing your teeth, everything, 87% automatic. The last one, and this is the scarier one, the complex decisions, like life decisions, finance, partners, relationships, everything else, 45%. You just, and this is not just you, even me, right? So this is research that is out there. So I want to invite you to come with an open mind here and become an observer in this whole talk, right? So, whose terms are you really living? Is it yours, or is it something else that's really written for you? Here's the thing, right? The first part of this process is the invisible script. This draft is already written even before you're born. A lot of it is brought in by your family, your genes, your society that you're part of, the institutions, organizations, education system. Talk to the ladies. I think they know more. It's not written by you. So when it's not written by you, what happens? Our script was handed out to us. Even our genes, like it's carried over from our parents to our generation. It's carried over. So growing up, there was this understanding: study, work hard, study, get a good job, get promoted, and follow the rules. Don't distract too much. Just be disciplined. It works for some time. But the most important thing is knowing where it works and when those rules apply and when can you change them as well. It's not about rules are rigid, uh, but it is about knowing when to change the rules as well. And that's becoming a leader for yourself, isn't it? It's a very important aspect. Now, I want you to consider this, right? I told you that, scripts are written. Everybody by the age of 12 already has a whole bunch of values, beliefs, and attitudes that you've already imparted. It's already imparted on you. Now, why is this important? You're at 12 just about speaking your thoughts. And by then, you're not even got to opinions and all that stuff. And the script is already written. And you've accepted it. And you're living that script even today. Right? So that's like a big eye-opening experience to actually go through that. Now, I want you to reflect on these two questions now. Are you following a preset script? I want you to not answer this for me, but for yourself. If you're an observer, just be honest in this process of yes or no. Because the first part of change is acceptance. The moment you start thinking about this, post this, you're going to be very conscious of these fine prints. For those who are already on the change path, here's a second question. Are you ready to rewrite the future? Every change, it starts with a very small act. So the thing is, everybody in life actually has at least 4 reboots. So it's impossible you're sitting here and you've not gone through some change. You've not rewritten some part of your script. So there are patterns. There are patterns that you can see. I'm sure yours is something before you start any change. Recognize what that pattern is. And I think those are very important in the process of change. Another thing is the perspective, right? By just shifting your perspective, it allows you to unblock those obstacles and actually you become a magnet for opportunities. They just come your way. The whole thing is moving from a perception to a perspective. Here's another important one, right? The power of compounding is often taught to us from a finance point of view, but never from a life and a, riding a wave of change perspective. Again, it's very powerful. A 1% change on a daily basis has about 37 times improvement. It's the practice. And this is a lifelong practice. You cannot say when life brings the next change into your life, right? So here's another question for you to reflect. What's your version of a haircut? So mine was a haircut before the plunge. What's yours? And I'm sure if you just think through this, you will recognize yours. It could be just as simple as I learned some new skill, or I moved and found some new friends, or I tried something else, a new skill or a new art form or whatever. But there is something that is a pattern in all of us. The next one, for those who are already in the change, is what small act of change could really spark a big transformation in you. Here's the thing, while working in a corporate world, as leaders, most of us know some bit of what is not working in the organization. Mid-level managers know a little more. Who knows it best? The people in the ground. Who is the people in the ground when your life script is looked at? It is you. So you actually know what is that one thing that is haunting you like crazy that you need to change. Yes or no? Yeah. So that's the part. If you know that, I've already created that awareness and this is going to stick around with you. Here's the next part, right? What's the cost of not changing? The cost of being stuck and not taking action is very, very high. Here's another example. I play poker and I really think it's a skill game. Poker teaches you when bad cards are dealt. And bad cards in life could be relationships. You don't choose where you're born also, right? So bad cards can be dealt anywhere. Finances, the company you work, bad boss, it could be anywhere. Just the roads and the streets and the people for women could be bad as well. So when that happens, the cost of just staying quiet and not acting is very, very high. Are you guys with me? Here's another thing, right? In this process, one of the things I realized is in India, especially, hard work is like really appreciated. It's overrated. But judgment is underrated. I don't mean judging others, but the act of making decisions or taking decisions, that's not small. That's the cost, right? You're avoiding the cost. Those are not appreciated. And those are not taught in schools, those are not taught in colleges. But that's where you become a leader for yourself, isn't it? So I think one of the asks from my end to you, if you're embarking on the process of riding a wave of change, is to start looking at how long you take to take decisions. What's that process? Can I make it shorter? Can I make it better? Can I see where I'm fearful of risks? Can I start looking at them and start addressing them? Now, we delay quitting unfulfilling jobs, staying in draining relationships. I'm sure there are many other things you can think of that you delay and just allow it to grow and grow and grow till it becomes a mountain. The cost of staying stuck is high, far higher than the challenge of just taking that risk, right? About 30 to 40% is the cost on you as a physical self, emotional self, and a financial self when you delay the actions. And there is an emotional cost as well. And when there is an emotional cost, there is a mental cost. There is burnout, there is mental, depression, stress, anxiety. The rippling effect of it is not small and cannot be missed in the process. What's running on empty in your life? Like the full tank to empty tank or, bad cards dealt. You know it. What is it? Do you have the answer? If you're already in the change process, you've identified it, what's that necessary change that you should be doing, that you should be trying? Small steps, fail fast, try again, and see where what's happening there. The last part, right? Power and the need to write. Technology spoiled us, but it's also great that it's bringing in that kind of change. And yet, when it is changing so fast, and thereby the society is changing so fast, our pace of adapting to change is not picked up that speed. There's no pressure. You're the writer of your script. There's no pressure at all. But it's important to know how to ride a wave of change. Which wave I want to ride. Which wave I want to, it's okay, it looks nice, but I'm just going to sit by the beach and watch it. It's very important to understand this about yourself. And therein comes the fine prints, right? It's very important to rewrite the rules that were once written. Now, why is it important to rewrite rules that were once written as not changeable? In our evolution of humankind, knowledge used to be with very few people, and that is disrupted today. With the GPT and all this stuff that is coming, I think knowledge is just accessible. In fact, they're hallucinating today, and that's going to change very quickly to real knowledge. And intelligence, thereby, is going to be on demand. So you see, the power structure is just changing. So who becomes very powerful? You and me as individuals. And then therein comes again those fine prints. You cannot miss not reading the terms and conditions that you're living by. Who wrote them? Who's benefiting from it today? How would you want to change it? Is up to us itself. I want you to consider this. By 2030, up to 800 million jobs will be automated. So here's a question, right? In a world of endless automation, what makes you irreplaceable? And it's a very important concept. Oftentimes we hold on to things like, oh my God, without me, this is not going to work. Whereas the most powerful thing is to become indispensable. And that's when it's the art of letting go, right? What are you irreplaceable with? What do you bring to the table? And where do you bring it as well? So you need to know not just what you bring to the table, but who values it. And that's where the true power of just representing yourself comes in together. For the ones who are really in this more, embrace your individuality, because that is your superpower. So I'll tell you one thing about me. This is hard. Just standing on stage is very hard, because I always talked about myself as being shy and an introvert. And I feel we box ourselves very quickly. And then we find reasons and examples, this time this happened, and this has always been the case. I'm just bad at this. And that's enough. We just write our scripts ourselves. So I think it's very important to see where you're writing this. What's your self talk? How are you treating yourself? And we're the meanest to ourselves. Like, forget others. We're very kind to others, but we're the meanest to ourselves. So it's very important to see how are you writing your script? Where are you writing it bad for yourself? What are things you want to change there? And so embrace that superpower and know what is that superpower as well. With the change that is happening, this is the last part, I promise you all. Uh, the pen is with you. It's not with anybody else. Before you sign up for any applications, anything in life, and it's not an overnight change, it is a lifelong process. This is a lifelong process of being adaptable, finding out what's happening around you, and then seeing which wave I need to be riding. And so it's a process, and I want to invite you to this journey of becoming a leader for yourself and finding the true power of yourself in everything that you do. And it's a journey, and it takes time. You'll fall through it. You'll break some bones. You'll fail. You'll learn. You will get out of relationships, every kind of toxic friendship, relationships. You'll get out of it. But that's a process. I'm not asking you to do this overnight. It's a long process. Be in it for a long while. What would you choose to become is a very important question. It might change tomorrow. You might write a script, I want to be a pilot. And tomorrow you just decide, no, 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 that's not for me. I want to be a good choreographer. That's fine. But it's the art of writing your own script and owning that as against giving that control to someone else. I hope you have some clarity of how to go about as well. And welcome to the world of change in that process. Thank you.